I ordered my favorite dessert at a restaurant recently, and it was all a sham. So for those who don't know, I have somewhat of a passion for desserts. I wouldn't call it an unhealthy obsession, but I also wouldn't describe it as a casual interest. It's a significantly massive focus of my life. Okay, that sounds worse than unhealthy obsession. Let's just call it an unhealthy obsession. Now, there is one dessert that, in my opinion, towers above the rest. It shines the brightest. It really takes the cake. Pun definitely intended. And that is molten chocolate lava cake. Oh boy! If you've never been graced with the heavenly opportunity to experience this delicacy, and you're not sure what it is, let me lay it down for you. Imagine a relatively small but incredibly dense, rich, deep, dark chocolatey cake that can scarcely be called a cake because it's so thick and gooey. Almost like mousse meets cake. Mousse as in the pudding-like dessert, not the animal. That would be gross. And this is served steaming hot. As you're digging through this cake and allowing the powerful chocolatey flavor to tickle your senses and delight your palate, you eventually reach the center of the cake, where there is a molten chocolate core. Yeah, that woke a few people up. Yeah, you heard me right. This is liquid chocolate that comes pouring out of the depths of the dessert like an active volcano once you reach the center of the cake, and it's thick enough that it pours out tantalizingly slowly, just tempting you. This whole shebang is usually served with vanilla bean ice cream on the side. And it will change your life. I was never the same after I first tried it. I'm getting a little overheated just thinking about it. Woo! Okay. So while I'm sitting at a fine restaurant, enjoying a delicious dinner with my parents who were visiting recently, our server comes by and asks if any of us would like to order the molten chocolate lava cake, because it takes 20 minutes to prepare, so if we ordered now, it will be ready by the time we finish eating our dinner. My parents, knowing my passion-filled history with this dessert, instantly look at me like, you know you want it, we know you want it, go for it. And I say something like, well, I don't know, that sounds like a big extravaganza. I don't know if I need that. But of course, that's just an attempt to be nice and civil and to not look like the ravenous beast that I am. And everybody at the table, including the server most likely, sees through my ruse. My mom says, I think you might have to. And I calmly respond with, okay, let's do it. So throughout the rest of the dinner, I can't wait for this. I'm counting down the minutes until my cake arrives. I'm thinking through what I should say first. You know, first impressions are important. Hi, I'm Parker. I know we haven't met before, but you look stunning. And I just have this crazy feeling that we're meant to be, you and I. So here's to love at first sight. And finally, the cake arrives. It is beautiful, flawlessly formed, circular in shape, which is expected, garnished with raspberries, and a couple scoops of vanilla ice cream cradled in some sort of crunchy pastry cornucopia. I mean, this is gorgeous. It's just, I never thought it could be so beautiful. And I dig into it with my spoon for the first bite, and it's soft. Not firm and gooey, but soft and spongy, like any regular old sponge cake. Just a run-of-the-mill, standard after-dinner treat. I take my first bite, and the texture is light and airy, like any mediocre store-bought cake. Sure, the chocolate flavor is pleasing, and it kicks it up a notch above your standard grocery store fare, but to be honest, this is not really doing it for me. But I continue to eat the cake because, well, it's me. I mean, what else am I gonna do? Not eat a dessert? Ridiculous. Unheard of. Absurd. Well, I guess I could have done that. But no, I'm still holding out for the molten chocolate center. At last I reach the middle of the cake, and I pierce it with my spoon. And nothing comes out, it's just more cake. Well, this really tears it. I've been lied to. This is not a molten chocolate lava cake, it's just a basic, tiny chocolate cake. What a deception. What a tease. How dare they? I mean, the cake is okay, it's not bad, but molten chocolate lava, it ain't. It takes me a while to get over the cake lie, but ultimately, I realized that I don't want to let it ruin my night, and there are probably worse tragedies that could have befallen me. I suppose the lesson here is that sometimes life will throw you a curveball, and you've got to be ready for that. If you think you've got everything figured out, you don't. And if you can bring yourself to be at peace with that fact, then, my friend, you will find true happiness. Also, don't trust every dessert item you see on a menu, because sometimes they are a cruelly devised fib intended to crush you to the very depths of your soul. Exaggeration? No. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go write a strongly, but respectfully, worded letter to the aforementioned restaurant with a schematic diagram of a true molten chocolate lava cake so that their chef can do justice to the dish. I'll catch you later.